Well, hi YouTube. I'm just experimenting here with the live sessions. I'm trying to do it on my laptop, but it's not recognizing my webcams. Anyway, I thought I'd maybe just go through this process and let you see what's going on here. Now, the one thing I'm not clear on is the orientation seems to be locked for whatever reason, and that's why it's in the vertical position. It's probably something in the settings that that's causing this, because I know in the background you can set it for vertical or horizontal, and it's probably locked itself into this position. But I just thought I'd give this a try for the moment while I figure out what's going on here on my laptop. So here's my channel here. I've been pretty active the last 30 days, as you can see, and there's all the participation that's occurred, and I've had 313,000 views and 610 videos. That's incredible. So that was my attempt at going live using the laptop, and I don't use the camo, and it wasn't able to find either of the two webcams, and I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I'll probably go back and try and do a live broadcast through the laptop, because when I was watching Hot Dog Andy, he told me that he produces the video simply through a live broadcast with one camera. Meanwhile, I've been using StreamYard and trying to use 2 or 3 cameras, including my iPhone, and that is always often problematic. Well, there you go, Choverton, you're in. That's good, and I'm glad. Yeah, it's always very simple using the iPhone, as opposed to trying to get it balanced between having audio come through the laptop, and if I usually invite myself. Hey, Haunted Railway, how are you doing? I usually invite myself through my iPhone, and I use that as a third camera. Anyway, just so you can see, there's the Strathclyde SPT, the 2-car set from Lima. And I've got a whiskey train coming through here. That's a class 29. You just saw it coming through the cuttings there. So it's a busy little place around here. You know, as ScotRail's Dave pointed out, There's a lot of work. Hey, Barnabas, how you doing? Um, I sent you a note yesterday. I can't remember what it was I was talking about, but I did ask you a question. I should probably go back and look and see what it was. Um, I'd asked if you were out and about, maybe at the Liverpool game, or out trying to catch some trains going by. Anyway, yeah, as Dave at Scott Rails pointed out, it's a real challenge trying to stay organised and and get set up for a broadcast, and then plan it, get everything set up, you know, through your laptop or whatever component you use, get your camera set and the audio, and then go from there. Hey, Andy, yeah, so I'm just doing a test, Andy. Uh, Given that you had said you go through YouTube with one camera, so I tried it using the laptop, but I got this connected device running Camo, and I know that pops up in the settings every now and again, but I couldn't get it so that I could load either that webcam that looks like something out of War of the Worlds or that webcam. And as I said, I usually invite myself through my iPhone, and that the iPhone, I get a little bit of background chatter going on in it, probably because I didn't have earphones plugged in into the iPhone. So yeah, it's always a challenge. Anyway, there's my mast that I made. I showed you that before. I based it on information I got from Digger in terms of the height. Now, that may not be appropriate to carry the headspan. I'm going to build one of them today, and then I'll check it out. But I think what I'll have to end up doing is I'll get back to scale model railways, and well, at least I sent them a note asking what is it going to cost to get a set of masts. A set of masts over here to Toronto, and I only wanted 4 or 5 of them to put, you know, at either side of the station, just to give it a hint that we're going through the process of getting the electrification installed on the main line. I wasn't going to do the whole layout, but we'll see how it goes. Because there are a couple, like this one here, that would look quite effective running under the catenary. And I'm running this through this Tech 2 and this little unit here that I got from China, and it works quite well, and everything's running quite smoothly here. What am I cooking? Well, I'd say I'm cooking up a storm, but the storm passed through last night. Pretty heavy rain and thunder and lightning because there was a tornado in southwestern Ontario, a couple of hours west of here, here being Toronto. Divyansh Vyas, where are you located? It's always nice to know where people are. There's my guy falling over again there. He's running, trying to catch that bus. Now there's a bridge going in here. I think I told you about that. It'll be a road bridge going across here. I just put the first part in. It's a bit large, but we'll see how it looks once I get the bridge mounted. Now, that is a Black 5. Somebody said to me, oh, it's a Jubilee, but it was issued as a Black 5, or not a Black 5, a Red 5. They discontinued it apparently, but I got this from a guy in the States, and it runs quite well, and of course, you know, it's got a Ringfield motor in there, while others, like this one, have got the Fleischmann motor. Now, I think the Fleischmann style Ringfield is much more reliable than the Hornby one. And I may have told you I found two of these at a swap meet. The guy Dave from BRMNA in Ottawa, he was unloading a whole bunch of stuff, and I managed to pick up two of those, so they'll come in handy if I need to change stuff out. Hey Dave, yeah, I was just mentioning you earlier there about the effort that you put into your live broadcasts. I mean, 4 or 5 hours, that's a long time to be online. And yeah, it does take a lot of effort. On a personal level, if I'm doing a live broadcast, I generally won't go over an hour, or maybe maximum an hour and a half. I think because I know that there are other people out there trying to get online and get an audience, and you know, I try to engage the audience with interesting, relatable topics. There comes a point where you'll be sitting in silence for long periods, and you know, there's some people like that. They'd rather just sit and watch the trains. Now, I just had a derailment here. And these grain wagons, they need a little bit of TLC, and they often derail. And I always try to check the back-to-back, but sometimes it's the couplings. If I could just get in there. Yeah, see, it's either a combination of couplings and wheels, whether it's the wheels are chipped or the gauge is out. We'll see how this goes. I'll just back it up a bit. Yeah. This is an interesting corner over here because my intention was to make that into a scrapyard. And hey, Timber, how you doing? Yeah, I was wanting to make it into a scrapyard. I've kind of neglected it for a while. But yeah, sometimes, you know, if you've got a chip on a wheel, see there's something. Probably get. Yeah, I'll need to put that off for a second. Yeah, sometimes you could have a chip in the wheel, or the couplings are kind of locked, and as it goes over a point or round a curve, they tend to lock up. I'll just slow it down a bit there so that it doesn't have any trouble. Yeah, there's always something, and Dave, you know, I don't have a large layout here, and you know, the place is just ram jam full, as they would say. So it is a challenge getting organised. And funny, my wife keeps saying, "What is the exit plan here?" And like, what do you mean? Well, when are you going to sell this stuff? I'm not going to be selling anything at this point in time, although I may eventually. But I certainly need to get organised. But you know, it's easy to get distracted. Charleston, Eastgate, very good. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, it's you just need to get organised, and you know, I've always got some little project on the go, like the unfinished bridge, the scenery of the rock cutting back here. Needs a couple of larger trees in the corner there. Yeah, some trees that I need to build. As you see, there's a few of them around here. different types. My shuttle service. I keep speaking about this. And you know, I'm not 100% confident with the electrical stuff, and I know that it should be relatively simple. I'm a little bit hesitant, lack of confidence, I guess. From what I understand, all I need to do now is add 5 volts of power to this and hook these up, and that should be it. And hopefully that is the case. So it's on my list. That's all I can tell you. It is on my list. And of course, I've got another couple of tenements under construction. And I want to start using my cricket machine. It's been sitting in the other room idle, waiting for me to do something. Yes, Dave, it is. That's the SPT, the Strathclyde Public Transport. It's a nice little unit by Lima. I've also got the other one. Not exactly sure where it is right now, but it's the other one with the maroon and cream livery. Another nice little unit. And, you know, the intention is that I'll maybe run that starting here and coming around all the way back to the station, with the whole idea that people get off the main line, go onto the commuter train, and then it will take them back around to this station where maybe somebody is going to pick them up in this Monte Carlo. And, you know, as I say, it should be a simple task because I've got the sensors wired in at both ends. This one's come away, but that's an easy fix. So it should be easy to do once I get this wiring done. That's all I need to do, is just finish off that wiring, and then I'll make an effort to get this area cleared out, put these all back in their boxes, Dave, as you say, no end to it, and then let that shuttle run while I've got something else on the main line. Yeah, you know, like talking about exit plans. And I've related this story before. An old friend of mine, a colleague, he was a process engineer. I think he was originally from Cleethorpes. And we worked together for a number of years. He too loved model railways. And, you know, he had a house in Toronto, but then he and his wife decided to buy a place in a town called Brighton, of all places, out on east of Toronto, on the Lake Ontario. Beautiful place. It was a kind of split level bungalow, and they modernised it. They tore down the old garage and built a new garage with a room above it. And he built this fantastic layout up there, covering about 20 or 30 feet, 20 by 30 feet. Really terrific, and all digital. And I was up there a few times helping him with odds and ends, and just spending time running trains. Well, we had spoken about this succession, or making plans to catalogue the collection, and for obvious reasons. See, this one's come off again. Just bear with me. Yep. So, let's face it, we don't live forever. And, before we get on that last train, we should get organised and leave the loved one or loved ones with a plan, just to make it easy for those left behind. Morbid but true. So I'm sure this friend of mine had started making a catalogue of his collection. Anyway, he got very sick and unfortunately passed away. And then his wife asked if I could go to their cottage and dismantle or destroy this layout, and that was a real tough task. For the most part, she had lifted the track and taken all the buildings off it, so what was left was the scenery, the tables, still some track on it, and I had to demolish it. Couldn't find anybody to take it. There was a local model railroad group, but they weren't interested, and it was really unfortunate. Anyway, I did that. I demolished the thing, and I'd said to his wife, well, what about the collection? And she was wary of unscrupulous types that might try to take advantage of the situation. So, a couple of years have passed now, and she has that collection in boxes. At last we spoke, and I don't know what her plan is. And as I said, I haven't spoken to her in some time. Sending it to the UK would cost a lot of money, so that's not a solution. If she went to the model railway show that happens every year or every other year through the plate layers, she would be able to sell most of the stuff there, but that's a 2-day undertaking, and I'm not sure if she's willing to do that. she has a number of limited edition issues from Hatton's, which she won't sell. She'll keep them for the grandson, who's, I don't know, 6 at the moment, I think. So, and she asked me to preserve one part of the layout for the grandson, and basically the terminal station, that type of area. So I did that, and the intention was to, at some point, get it wired up. But I don't know what the situation is now moving forward. There's that tank that I 3D printed. I made the model and then printed it. Took a number of hours, but I was quite happy with it at the end of the day. And it fits perfectly in that wagon. Well, look at that. It's 31 minutes have passed already, and I've been doing all the talking. Charleston, yeah. So that's the Glasgow Strathclyde area transit that's running there. It's a 2-car Lima DMU, and that there is a Hornby Class 29 with a few grain carriers on the way to the whisky, or from the whisky distillery. These are the Carabel car transporters. Nice little set with the original cars, Ford Anglias for the most part there. And this is one that I modified and took an old Airfix kit and broke it up, and then added a canvas over the cockpit, and that transports the Spitfire around. And there's the Hornby crane set. I'll probably sell that if I could get somebody interested in it. I've got the original box for it. It's only been on the layout a couple of times. I've got a few black 5s which I like. And there's the Fife and Forfar Yeomanry. Flymo would know about that. And there you go, that's from a substation. I got that at George's Trains. They've got a company providing 3D printed models, and I thought, oh, that's perfect, it would fit in somewhere. Although it's probably HO scale, you would never really know in that particular case. And there's another black 5. Jake, do you need a black 5, or are you suggesting that I need another black 5? There's the old British Overseas Airways Corporation coach that would run from the city centre in Glasgow all the way down to Prestwick, down on the Ayrshire coast if you were flying to North America. And there, Tennant's Lager being dropped off at the local pub. And there's a Glasgow Corporation trolley. and the Glasgow Fire Brigade. Yeah, the Black Fives, Jake, are nice. They're nice locals. You just get the right one. Now, if you're going digital, there's some new digital ones out, but mine are all DC. Anyway, look, I've been on 35 minutes and, you know, it was supposed to be just a test, and this has worked out fine on my phone. But now what I'll need to do is work on getting the laptop running so that I don't have to, excuse me, wander around with the cell phone in my hand. Anyway, I'll sign off now. Thank you all for stopping by, and we see you next time here at Partickhill Station. Bye for now.